So let's go ahead and get into it, right? We're going to talk about something that's you've probably never thought about before, but it's going to have to do with what's called your upper thoracic, right? That's the part of your chest, your upper cavity here, that you can move independently, okay? And you're like, what is that going to do and how's that going to help me hit the ball better? I promise you, just listen in, stay tuned. It's definitely going to help, right? Before we get going though, I do have an email list that has a lot of content that's not available on YouTube that you can sign up for at any time. And people are really loving the tips that I give out there. We talk a lot about a bunch of different things. So feel free to subscribe down below. And as always, like my videos, subscribe to my channel if some of the stuff I've helped you hit the ball better, score better, any of those things, okay? But let's go ahead and get into it. So what we're talking about, right, is this upper thoracic and what it does in the golf swing. And you guys have all heard this term, right? Left side bend, right side bend. Left side bend, right side bend. If you haven't, that's the first time. That's basically what they're talking about. It's the ability to move the upper part of your chest just in this kind of lateral flexing direction. So how that helps your golf swing is there's many people out there, they believe when they're moving everything is moving as just one solid unit like this, right? That's not actually what's happening. While the body is rotating to a degree as we go back, there's a lot of this lateral flexing that's occurring, okay? There's a lot of left side bend that's occurring for me. I'm a right-handed golfer. This left side bend, this side, that's occurring in my backswing, like about 45 degrees from where we start. There's 45 degrees of movement this way. But what's even tougher, because I see some people that are able to handle and get that, not everybody though, but on the downswing, it really reverses and it does exactly the same. And the difficult part is this all happens in less than a half a second. You've got to be able to go from left side bend back down to level, back down into right side bend very seamlessly. And what I'm noticing with a lot of my students is sometimes they're stiff, right? Just stiff as they swing the club, right? They're trying to control the club so their body's not fluid. It doesn't move just rhythmically and in a nice supple manner, right? We want it to be supple, quick, those types of things. There's a stiff and slow trying to get power, right? But also it's what achieves a lot of the best positions in the golf swing, okay? So let me show you kind of what's happening here, right? So when I start, my chest is relatively level. I might have a little bit of trail side bend or right side bend because my right hand is lower than my left, okay? But for the most part, it's pretty close to level with an iron shot. So right away, a good golfer, as they start to take the golf club back, they're actually starting to do this as they go back. So in one and the same time, they're turning, but they're actually going into left side bend, which is really crucial because that's exactly what puts me on this angle to hit the ball that's down on the ground, right? For those of you that are going back like this, right, you're on too flat of an angle, right? And we've got to make some kind of compensation coming down to steepen that angle once it's gone back too flat. So it's very important that we achieve this side bend very quickly in our backswing, okay? So once it goes back into left side bend, and you notice here from this down the line view, when this side crunches, this side expands and goes upward, which is super important for what's going to happen on the downswing. Because once I've gone into this left side bend on my backswing, as soon as I start down, this taller right side, right? You see how much shorter my lead side is compared to this. It's going to start to crunch down right away, and that gives me a lot of momentum and force to get my trail elbow into a very powerful position. So that's one thing that people miss sometimes. They go back trying to keep their right arm in a good position. It's like, no, it needs to be here, and then it's going to move down in that position. Almost imagine if I was squashing something underneath my right arm, right? But the best way to do that is we get a little momentum on the backswing. I'm moving up like this, and then I'm squashing on the downswing. Moving up, squashing. Moving up, squashing. So that's typically not happening in most golf swings. That degree of mobility, that degree of just suppleness, it's not occurring. So I'm going to show you a drill here to help give you the feel. It's a little bit like a dance, so bear with me. All you're going to do, you're just going to hold your hands out in front of you, just kind of clasp them in a fist right in front of you. And the first way to begin this drill is just slowly back and forth, just go from left side bend, right side bend. Be careful because most of the people I show this in person, they move their hips when they do it. For right now, we're not trying to do that. We're just working on that upper thoracic, right? So from about mid torso up, right? Just here at the top of my ribs, I'm just working on this position, okay? Once you get that down, you're like, okay, I feel that. Now we want to put that to a little bit of a rhythmic motion. This is the part where it starts to look a little bit like a dance, but it's really important that you can actually feel this motion. Here's the backswing motion. You see how that kind of gets my weight, my pressure into my trail side? And then here's the downswing motion. And I can feel everything starting to move back down into my right elbow, move into my rib cage, right? It's not because I'm doing it with my arm. I'm doing it with this side bend, right? Really important, because when people don't do this correctly, when they don't have the side bend here or they don't have the side bend here, they start to move their head all over the place, okay? And they start to swing the club like a block of concrete. Everything is very stiff. We need to have this suppleness. So back to the drill. So I started like this, just independently moving up and down. That's stage one. Now stage two is you start to put a little motion to it. So basically I'm taking the club back, I'm bringing it down. Taking it back, bringing it down. Taking it back, bringing it down. If you want to get even a little bigger, you can even do that. Now, it might feel slightly like a little bit of a loop, like a little bit of a Jim Furyk or a Matthew Wolf. That's just, the drill will accentuate that, which is probably not a bad thing, because when you go to get a club, that won't happen. But when you start to do it just drill-wise, you might feel a little bit of a loop, just because we're kind of exaggerating this bend here. This left side bend, my right side goes up. Boom, right side bend, my left side goes up. And this is not a bad thing, because we're not doing it like this with our lower body going this way. Right? I know some of you are scared about doing that. That's not happening at all. We're just simply training this in a nice fluid motion, okay? So you go, God, I got that feeling. Grab a club once you've done that for a minute or two, and you'll slowly start to feel that same thing. So I feel myself going in the left side bend on the backswing, right side bend on the downswing. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Especially for those of you that take the club back too flat, right? And that come over the top, you can see you're going from right side bend, right? See, my right side's lower, my left side's higher, and then I'm tipping this way, right? Now I'm in the left side bend on the downswing. That's the dead opposite of what we want, right? Or if you're just not doing any of that and you're just keeping this all, that's not it either. That's not going to gain you as much just dynamic power, okay? So you've got some of those sensations, and you're starting to just put that together into a nice fluid motion. So I can feel it there. I feel this crunching. My obliques here crunching. I feel this expanding up on this side, and then I start to feel it pinch down. And boy, that feels really powerful. And then I start to make some golf swings. So you'll be really surprised. I know it's a slightly technical body part, the upper thoracic, but trust me, golf is not easy, and sometimes we need to do some of this, hopefully in the privacy of our own home, so nobody's watching you do that drill out in public. But trust me, it'll help. And then go ahead and take a look at just a couple of these shots that I've got of just great players, and you'll be able to see them doing the same thing. I'm not just saying this is something you should do. They're doing the exact same thing. You'll see their body very supplely going to these different positions, and that's part of why they're hitting the ball so well. Till the next video, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you then.
So here's a great look at Adam Scott hitting an iron, and we'll be able to see some of those changes occurring here. I'm going to go ahead and put on his side bend numbers. And at 12 degrees, he's got, at address, he's got 12 degrees of right side bend. And you'll notice how quickly in the backswing, it instantly goes into that negative side bend number. So from positive 12 at address to very quickly into, a negative number by halfway back. So almost negative 30 at that point. And then by the completion of the backswing, he's almost at 45 degrees negative. Halfway down on the downswing, he returns back to about level here, somewhere in this zone. And now he starts to quickly go into right side bend. And I mean, that view, if you look at it from the down the line view, gets you to appreciate some of the positioning of the body, but also just from behind, you can see how much side bend is occurring just before impact. So at that time, that's about the maximum side bend. It's somewhere there around 60 degrees would be maximum at that position before he starts to release out of it to his finish.
Thank you so much for watching that video. If you really liked it, feel free to subscribe or give me a thumbs up. I love hearing from you guys too, so definitely drop a comment with any questions or concerns. But if you really want to get a lot of my content that's not on YouTube, I have an email list. All you need to do is click the link below, put your email in, and you'll be getting all this content for free that nobody else gets on YouTube. Lessons from me that come out almost every other day. I'll talk to you soon.